It's been a while since I've seen Palantir move up close to 30% in one day, let alone Palantir over 20% in one day. Reminds me a lot of 2024 when Palantir literally just went on their epic, legendary run. You're talking, oh man, legendary run. I have been in and out of Palantir stock for the last several years now. Very much a shareholder of Palantir currently. And I will say that this stock, time in and time in again, just blows away people's minds, expectations. It really does catch Wall Street off guard, which is one of the reasons why Palantir is up 26.91 percentage points today. Not to mention, the market overall is just feeling very bullish and optimistic as well, so that's adding a lot of momentum. So, in today's video, I want to go ahead and talk primarily about Palantir. I don't really spend too much time talking about Palantir, is because Palantir's been in this very weird kind of like, the stock price of Palantir has been in a weird category, very much around SaaS apocalypse, software apocalypse stocks, basically software stocks being replaced by AI. The funny thing about it is that, you know, a lot of people group Palantir with other software companies. Palantir is the disruptor in the software industry because they're an AI-driven company. They're not like Adobe. They're not like ServiceNow, Salesforce, Microsoft. They are, in my opinion, Palantir is like SoFi. They are a disruptor. And I've talked about this before on this channel. A lot of people honestly did not really understand what I was saying, that Palantir is, or I should say SoFi is very much like Palantir. And the reason being is because people look at SoFi and say, you know, how can you compare a bank to a AI company? I'm not comparing a bank to an AI company. I'm comparing a disruptor company in the banking sector compared to a AI company that is disrupting the software industry. So Palantir and SoFi, they are very much alike, and they are very much following in suit, especially when people want to take on risk. Because when people want to take on risk, you have companies like Palantir very much up. You have companies like SoFi very much up. SoFi is a disruptor in the banking industry. Palantir is a disruptor in the software industry. Oh, yes, it is. So, I really want to go ahead and make today's video primarily around Palantir. I don't mind sharing my story about Palantir too. I tend to really do when I do a deep dive in Palantir. But I mean, I've been following Palantir for years now. I've been in and out of Palantir. I've had multiple positions in Palantir. I didn't keep my first position in Palantir like a lot of people. I actually was buying Palantir in the very low teens, like 14, 15, 16 bucks. Ended up getting out in the 30s, then I got back in, got out in the 60s. Completely missed the run up, and then Liberation Day on two different accounts, I actually built positions below $100. And then last year during the summer when Palantir went to all-time high, I actually got out of Palantir again. Every single time that I get in Palantir and I get out of Palantir, I make money. Like a lot of money. So my current position in Palantir, obviously my average is not below 100 bucks anymore, but there's still a lot of money to be made in this stock. So I really want to go over their earnings, which I'm going to for the first portion of today's video. Really do a deep dive talk around Palantir. Give my perspective of where the company is going. But I mean, hey, there's been people that have tried shorting Palantir. There's been people that have tried saying Palantir was going to be done after it went on to 66 and then essentially $100, and then 120, 150, 210, 220, I think is the all-time high. And I mean, this company just time in and time and again, it shocks Wall Street, shocks people, and it also shocks me because there's just really not a company like this. And if you are new to the stock market, understand that these companies, they're not like the days of Warren Buffett, okay? If you go back in time like 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, you're not going to find companies like Palantir. A Palantir style company like 60, 50, 40, 30 years ago, people would look at it and be like, yeah, this is the biggest scam on the planet. Ironically, some people thought Palantir was a scam back in 2023. They ended up missing out on a great opportunity. But the thing about it is that companies like this, they were not around many, many decades ago. And the reason primarily is because, one, Palantir is a disruptor company. Two, Palantir is an AI-driven company. And three, their entire business model is going after the premium money in the world. That's the entire thing about it. So you got a company in the software spectrum, Adobe, right? I use Adobe products every day. I don't make enough money to use Palantir products, let alone Palantir would never even sell me their software because I don't make enough money to actually use their software. Now, for the average person out there, like myself, Adobe is it's very easy to do. I use Adobe for very much creations. So, I mean, Adobe appeals to like the vast majority of people. How many people does Adobe have? Very much like probably over 100,000 users. Same thing with a company very much like Salesforce. And even Salesforce CRM, ServiceNow, Microsoft. You're talking, yeah, let's not even go there. How many people are using a Microsoft product? Well, I'm recording a video on a Windows 11 laptop. So, yeah, you're talking billions. Very different. Palantir targets those premium companies and premium users. And because of that, they're getting all the big money. They really are. So let's just go and look at the highlights very much straight off the bat. Yesterday's earnings call was nothing but straight bullish. I mean, you're talking about everything straight off the bat. Revenue grew on the U.S. side of things 115% year over year. Commercial revenue 149%, 29% quarter over quarter. Millions, billions of dollars. Revenue grew 93% year over year and 19% quarter over quarter. Just massive, massive numbers if you go back like several years ago. The amount of money that has been scaled. Not to mention they have multiple billions. I believe it's $9 billion cash on hand they have. Don't quote me on this, but I believe that Palantir, because they're a defense contracting or they do business in the contracting industry, they're not allowed to repurchase shares. So it's going to be interesting about what do they do with their cash pile. For a company like Palantir to have $9 billion of just capital to their company, well, one, you never have to worry about that company pretty much going under because they got a stockpile of cash, okay? $9 billion. What are they going to be doing with that $9 billion? That's the very exciting thing about it. Are they going to be making acquisitions? Are they just building it to maybe $20 billion? I'm not sure if they can do a dividend or not, but to be honest, I would rather have them take that money and very much do acquisitions and drive up their entire company rather than basically give us some dividend money. It's much better for a company to take that money and reinvest it into their overall company as well. But I mean, the big thing that is just throwing so many people just are losing their mind is this. Full year 2026, we are raising our revenue guidance. We are raising our U.S. commercial revenue guidance. We are raising our adjusted income. We are raising our adjusted free cash flow guidance. Excuse me, my allergies are utterly killing me. Hold on, water check here. Welcome if you are new. I keep things very real around here. And we continue to expect GAAP operating income and net income in each quarter of this year. Alex Karp CEO letter, very bullish. Very bullish indeed. The entire earnings call was extremely bullish. Whenever I listen to Alex on these earnings calls, basically pretty much I just think of like a Terminator in a way. That's literally what goes through my head. For Palantir is legitimately just like a Terminator giving a earnings brief. And I mean, yeah, you're talking about a company that just goes time in and time again. So I do want to talk a little bit about my history with Palantir, which I talk about a lot, because Palantir and me is actually very unique. I have made tens and tens of thousands of dollars of profits in Palantir. If I had to really put a hard number on it, I would say probably, honestly, well over 30,000 hard profits. Now, here's the interesting thing. If I had taken a super long position in Palantir, I would have made over 6 figures of sheer profits. Yeah, that's right. But I stuck to a strategy around Palantir, and the reason I stuck to a strategy is because, one, during 2023, I was actually still relatively new to the stock market. I got in the market during Rona of March of 2020. 2020, 21, I made great, phenomenal, life-changing money, but essentially I didn't really know what I was doing. So did a lot of other people as well, too. You could have just bought the down Rona stocks like I did, the cruise lines, the airlines, the cosmetic companies. I also bought a lot of the energy companies as well. And because of 2021 inflation, it was really just dumb luck that all the energy stocks very much soared, did a double or triple up. So I made life-changing money, and I really didn't know, like, what I was doing per se. But I saw an opportunity because Rona basically killed a lot of companies for the time being, short-term for the time being. Palantir, 2023, 2022, it was definitely a learning curve for me. 2022, that's when I learned all the stuff around technical analysis, basically how to set up the chart, which you see behind me here. And I also learned fundamental analysis. I learned pretty much how to do a deep dive into a balance sheet. I learned how to listen to very much conference calls. And I very much learned just about, hey, like this company is going to be seeing an increase of demand, a decrease of supply. Microeconomics 101. More demand, less supply, the price is going to go up. Okay, Micron is a good example. AMD, I also believe, is a good example. Nvidia was a good example during 2023 epic run. So microeconomics, right? Obviously, if a company is raising its inventory, well, there's more supply than demand. You can very much have stuff go down. Maybe for a time period, maybe that's just how it is. Maybe the company is going to be slowing down for the future, right? Not every company is a Palantir out there. That's very important. Not every company is a AMD, a SoFi, a Robinhood, a Meta, okay? How many companies have IPO'd since 2014? How many companies have gone tits up? Or belly up, probably should say. A lot, okay? Going back before Meta was Meta, just Facebook, you're talking about, like, there have been plenty of companies that have been delisted from NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, because they couldn't make it. Plenty of companies go under. Now, during 2023, when I started to accumulate Palantir, things were just moving so quick. And I was also still very, I want to say, newish in a way. Now I'm definitely very much more seasoned and very much more disciplined in terms of investing and also trading. But 2023, I literally took my strategy was very simple. I honestly thought that Palantir was going to scale upward maybe over a course of a year. Well, by the time that I built my position very much in the $14, $15, $16 range, you're talking about, I want to say, less than 6 months, I was already pretty much up by 100%, I ended up taking it. I walked away with 100% of profits. Hey, that was my strategy. Yeah, my strategy was very much do a double up on Palantir. Double my money. Did I double my money? I did, and I executed. And then I continued to watch their earnings, continued to see everything that was happening. And pretty much when Palantir got into the SPY, I'm like, okay, I got to get back into this company. I built a aggressive position very quickly, very rapidly in the low 30s. And within the course of like, not even 6 months, it was already double my money once again. It was like high 60s. Sold out of that once again. And a lot of people thought that it was over. It was over for Palantir, and I will never, ever forget it. The sentiment around Palantir, basically around Christmas of 2024, a lot of people thought Palantir was over pretty much when they went down in January. And then they very much shocked pretty much everyone around February, and it was ultimately Liberation Day. But pretty much, I got into Palantir when a lot of people just doubted the company. I started to very much reaccumulate Palantir. And like I said, Liberation Day last year, I had 2 accounts with Palantir. I was building 2 positions, and I was buying Palantir below $100. On my main account, my Robinhood account, below $100, I was buying a Palantir. My public account, which very much more was a aggressive trading account for me, which I've turned into my public account dedicated for this YouTube channel. I had Palantir below $100. And then during the summertime last year, Palantir friggin' went up like, and it's just like, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Once again, if I had stuck on to my original shares, would have been up well over like 1,000% profits here. Like, oh yeah, you're talking, because my original average on Palantir, I think it was like $15. So theoretically, right now, I'd be up by 1,000%, which is just absolutely unreal if you really think about it, right? But hey, stuck to my strategy. So I started to reaccumulate Palantir pretty much back in January timeframe, very much when it just was dipping. Been buying Palantir shares here in the last couple weeks. And I mean, overall, this company, it continues to perform. There's just a lot of people, even the bears, just are losing sight of like a thesis to go against this company. Now, is there going to be a slowdown in this company? Absolutely. There's always going to be a slowdown. But the question is, when? And the question is, okay, does a slowdown happen? Well, instead of growing 93%, do we only grow by maybe 80-ish%, 70%? What if theoretically Palantir was able to execute with a friggin' CAGR of 50%? A lot of people look at Meta, and a lot of people look at Meta and say, out of the Mag 7 or the Mag 5, the magnificent stocks, right? Even though Meta's CAGR right now is very much getting kicked in the nuts because their capital expenditure that they're spending. However, there's going to be a point in time where Meta is going to be producing that juicy 30+ CAGR once again. And the thing about it is, what if hypothetically Palantir just gives us a CAGR of 50%? How crazy would that be, right? What's going to end up happening is that their revenue growth and their earnings are going to catch up even farther. One of the reasons why Palantir is valued as such a high valued company is because, one, they are an AI-driven company. The world has never seen something like this. The market is willing to give them that outrageously high multiple on their forward PE, which is driving their stock price. Lastly, if people want to take risk in the market, Palantir is going to go up. Just like Robinhood, just like SoFi, okay? if the market is risk on, Palantir's going to benefit. If the market's risk off, Palantir's going to get hit. Why is that? Keep it simple. Keep the numbers simple, okay? Let's say you have one company that trades at a forward PE of 150 times their price to earnings ratio, right? Very high multiple. Then you have another company that trades at 100 times. Then you have another company that trades at 50 times, right? And then let's go ahead and show in a fourth company that trades 25 times, right? Now, the market is risk on. The market's risk on. All those companies can have insanely high evaluations. Wait a second, the market's risk off. The company with the highest evaluation, it's gonna come down. And all those other companies are gonna follow. Now, the company with the lowest evaluation, like the 25-time evaluation, you could very well get hit with a soft cut. Maybe instead of trading 25 times your PE ratio, maybe you're only trading at, let's say, maybe 20. Okay, so you go from 25 to 20, right? Okay, well, the company that's trading at 150, you could very well go down to 100, maybe even 75. Yeah, a risk-on environment is going to drive up companies like Palantir. We are moving back into a risk-on environment. Why? Oil. Oil is coming down. The stuff in the Middle East is going to very much hopefully come to a conclusion. Let's keep good vibes, good thoughts in for the Middle East. We got very much the semis, which are rallying right now. AMD, Nvidia, they're going to be dropping their earnings also. And I mean, you had all the big companies reporting a increase in capital expenditure. Now we're going to be hearing from AMD today pretty much about how they're going to be benefiting from all these companies spending money. Nvidia is going to be at the end of this month. So the entire market right now is just very much in a broader span of feeling very much more risk on. And a lot of bears around Palantir, they're very much coming back and they're like, okay, yes, the PE, I mean, the evaluation has definitely caught up. The earnings have definitely caught up. Obviously, we have had 1, 2, 3 earnings now since pretty much falling off. We're very much in like just a lower stock price trading area. Because if you go back to earlier this year, February, and you look at their earnings to very much now, you're talking about a night and day difference. Look at that. Night and day difference. You're talking about a company reporting earnings back in February, reported 1.4 bill, and they just put up 194 bill in 2 quarters. And then they're also guiding to hit over 2 bill. Like, that's a lot. Do the math. The math of percentage gains are just insane of revenue. So understand that if you are a Palantir shareholder like me, very happy, very bullish. Tomorrow is going to be a great day to see how the market very much looks at AMD. I am very bullish on AMD. And tomorrow's video is going to be very much revolved around what many people laughed at AMD, but I'm so happy for myself. Many of you all that really did take advantage of buying AMD. So if you have bought Palantir in the last 6 months, very much been buying the dip, congratulations. You are up now. And where do I see Palantir going? Well, on the charts, I definitely see Palantir reclaiming this 200-day moving average, 150. We could very much hover in between 150 to maybe 140. But going back down to the one, like give me a break. There is no reason, in my opinion, for Palantir to trend down there. If Palantir gets sent down anywhere between below 120, it's going to be a buying opportunity for many people. Me personally, if Palantir went down to the 120s again, I'd be buying shares again. So, yeah, it's really good vibes. Who knows? Maybe Palantir's going to be back at all-time highs by the end of this year. We really just got to see. But a lot of people have doubted this company. And I myself, several years ago, I mean, hey, I never saw a company like this, let alone being very new to the stock market. A company like this, when it moves very, 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 very quickly, it tends to really make you a little scared because, like, man, this company just went up by like 100%. Talking about 2023-24. This company just went up by 100% in like 3 months. Is this normal? Well, hey, we're in the new age where companies are just putting up crazy, crazy numbers. AI companies are crazy. All right, new video tomorrow. See you guys then. If you enjoyed today's episode, smash all the like buttons, subscribe buttons, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Later.